All right, hello and welcome everyone to the Google Ads crash course for the event rental industry. One of a kind. My name is Tariq El-Khatib. Very excited to have you guys. As successful as we are, we think we are, there is a way with Google to improve without breaking the bank, and that's what I'm here to share with you guys. Very excited. So let's jump right in. What is it that we're going to talk about today? It's an accelerated walkthrough of Google Ads where you can get better ads that cost you less. I know that sounds like, it sounds fake or it's too good to be true. You get what you pay for in advertising, especially with Google Ads. That's not necessarily true. I'm going to teach you guys the methods that I've been using to get better results by spending less. That's really, really important. I'm going to give you guys cheat sheets where basically you guys can go through everything we learned today. I'll send you a copy of it, or you may have to request it. And this way you don't have to necessarily worry about taking notes or retaining everything today. You're basically going to look over my shoulder as I set up an effective live Google ad. Stick till the end. Stick till the end, because by the end of this, you're going to have your Google Ads set up like a pro. Google is a two-part process. First, you need to set up your account, which is what we're going to do today. I'm not talking about your account settings. I'm talking about build your account up properly. Build up your ads properly. And then the other part is maintenance, which is what you're going to do on your own. So many people either set up their account perfectly and then don't maintain it, and then it's a waste, or they take over an account that somebody else set up improperly, and no matter how well you maintain it, it's like for nothing. So basically, both parts are very important. Today we're going to do the first part, and me personally, I spent years and months and thousands of dollars before I got my ads to perform the way they do today by learning how to set up my ads properly. And you guys are going to learn it by the end of this hour, so that's pretty awesome. By the end of this, you're going to feel like this guy. You're going to feel like you just jumped into cold water. It's a lot of stuff, but it's going to make sense. I promise. That much I promise. It's going to make sense. The light bulb is going to pop in your head, and you're not going to know everything, but you're going to think to yourself, man, at least that makes sense now. It's not a foreign language. I can do this. And that's my goal for you today, to get you to a point from where Google Ads is a foreign language, it's code I don't understand, to get you to say, this is very doable, get you excited about running your ads with Google. And I wouldn't be surprised if by the end of this, some of you guys think, man, I want to start doing Google Ads full-time for other companies. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. Is this for you? This is for anybody who has little to no knowledge on Google Ads, or if you feel overwhelmed with Google Ads. If you're frustrated and don't know where to start, or if you don't have a large budget to work with, then this is perfect for you. This is also for you if you already have somebody that runs your Google Ads, but you want to really know if they're the ones bringing you the results or you're getting the results organically. That's really important for you guys to understand where your results are coming from. Why is it that we're talking about Google? Why should you use Google? I've had a couple people comment and say, Google Ads doesn't necessarily work in our industry. I don't know about it. Google is the #1 search engine in the world, especially for services that we offer. People go to Google when they're searching for products or services. So we have to get on there. We have to get on there properly. People are searching Google right now for what you're selling. If you're not on there, you're missing out on a ton of money. What I love about Google is that you only pay when someone clicks your ad. There's no minimum budget and no long-term commitment with Google. There's literally a button. You just click to start your ads and you click to turn off your ads whenever you want. Most importantly, Google works. It works, simple as that. So you definitely want to be on Google. How soon will you see results? As soon as your ad is approved, usually the same day, you're going to start getting some results. Okay, you're going to start getting clicks, calls. It's almost immediate, but it's not necessarily going to be the clicks and calls that you want. Google is not a one-time gig. It requires continuous account management where you teach Google which clicks and calls you want and which ones you don't. Basically, in the beginning, it's a few minutes every day, and then after it's a mature account, you're just going to be like 30 minutes a week where you go in and check on your account, make sure everything's good. Google Ads can be expensive or affordable. Really, you get to decide how that goes based on how much time you put into it. All right, so let's talk about me for a sec here. Who am I? Again, my name's Tariq. I started my career in radiology and then ended up teaching radiology. This is actually my inaugural class, my first class to graduate. Pretty proud of that. I love teaching. And somewhere in between, I started Bounce My House Party Rentals with my family. I really wanted to grow my party rental company. I knew I could, and in my desperation, I was ripped off by guru after guru and wasted all this time on advertising and hiring people. And eventually I figured it out, and which is why I'm here today, but it took a while. Honestly, I never planned on sharing this stuff with people, but I saw how many people needed this, and I love to teach, so I said, man, I want to be a part of this. What's most frustrating to me is that I did follow everybody's advice, not everybody's advice, but the best practices when starting a business. Some of you guys may have seen my posts in a group. I've been asking, how do you grow your business? I was told, you got to hire marketing experts, or you got to join the Chamber of Commerce, or you got to go to these wedding shows. And I did all that. And in the end, I just could never tell where the results were coming from. I was spending $500 to $1,000 per month on people to market my business, like Google ads and Facebook ads, and I was paying the people this money to do this, and I thought they were doing a good job, but I just could never tell. I never had the confidence in them, and eventually I just couldn't afford their services and had to let it go. But it was just really frustrating because I knew that online marketing works. I knew that if it's working for all these companies, it can work for me, and that was really frustrating. I couldn't get it to work for my business, and all the solutions out there were either too expensive or too complicated, and nobody understood that I was on a budget and I couldn't afford a buttload of money on advertising. I mean, that's why I'm advertising, because I need money. So I woke up one day and said, you know what, enough is enough. I'm not going to rely on anyone else to market my business. I'm going to do it on my own. I'm going to learn how to do this. So I decided I was going to take control of my own business marketing. I spent the next few months learning everything I could about online advertising, starting with Google. I took a bunch of courses and spent a lot of time and money putting it all together into something that could actually benefit my business. I really enjoyed it, and eventually, I'm proud to say, I went out and got certified by Google, and it's all starting to come together. But I finally began seeing my business grow once I understood all this stuff. My click-through rates and conversion rates doubled. I was actually making double the money. And it was amazing. Within 1 year, the impact that it had. My ads were actually working, and I was attracting higher-end customers and making bigger sales. And I remember mentioning this at one of the chamber meetings, about my success. And I thought it was just me. But I was bombarded with other people. Well, you know how to run Google Ads? Can you help me? Can you help me? And that's when I realized, man, a lot of people don't know what they're doing with this, and that was pretty amazing to me, because I just thought most people understood. But enough about me. Let's do a quick summary of Google Ads and how it works. So how Google Ads works is you create ads, and then you tell Google how much you're willing to spend per ad click per day. You tell Google to only show your ads to people who use specific keywords in their search. So you tell Google that I only want you to show these ads that I just created to people that search using these words. Google goes ahead and shows your ads to the people who search using those words. If they click your ad, then Google charges you a cost per click, CPC. Your CPC depends on many factors, including the relevance of your ads, the website that you send people to after they click your ad, and how often people click your ad, the click-through rate. All of that determines your quality score, as well as other factors. If your ad is not clicked, then you do not get charged, but then your quality score goes down, because that means your ad is not very relevant. Your cost per click also depends on your competitors, because Google Ads is an auction. It depends on who else is bidding on those keywords. Okay? So Google Ads is all about data. Nobody starts with a perfect account. You start with an account, and then you teach Google which traffic is relevant to you and which traffic is not. If you follow these strategies that we talk about, Google will start sending you better clicks and cheaper prices, and I'll tell you why, because Google wants you to do well. Don't think of yourself as a customer of Google. Think of yourself as somebody who represents Google. When someone searches Google and Google goes ahead and shows your ad to their customers, they are trusting you to show relevant ads to their customers and giving them a good experience. The user, if you send people to ads that are not relevant or gimmicky stuff, or your ads just aren't converting right, the user gets frustrated and they may take their business elsewhere to Bing or Yahoo. So Google wants people to say, man, I love Google. Whenever I go on there, I find exactly what I'm looking for and I get a great deal. And that is Google Ad pretty much summed up. Now let's take a look at the Google Ads account structure. This is the anatomy of your account. Your Google Ads account is composed of campaigns, which break down into ad groups. And within each ad group, you have keywords, keyword list, which triggers ads. What the heck does all that mean? Basically, just think of a campaign as a category of products or theme of products that you're marketing. Think of an ad group as a subcategory of those products. And then the keywords are just keywords that search for those products to show their ads. So let's say, for example, we have a rental company, a campaign. We could have a campaign for inflatables, a campaign for tents, another campaign for photo booths, another campaign for game trucks, etc. Each one is a theme of products. For the ad groups, under my inflatables, I could have one ad group for, let's say, Mickey Mouse bounce house. I could have an ad group for unicorn bounce house, etc. For the tents, I can have wedding tents, event tents, and then for the keywords, basically, you want it. The more specific you are, the better, because these keywords have to be very specific. So let's just say you have here you just have bounce house. Well, people are searching for unicorn bounce house. They're going to see your ad, and it may not be relevant. So the more specific you are, the better. Big mistake number one is creating only one campaign for your entire account because you think you have a low budget. It does not cost you anything to have more than one campaign. You just distribute your budget differently. 2 out of 3 experts that I've hired throughout the years to run my accounts have done this. And I didn't think anything of it until I realized what the impact was. But the reason is, again, you set your dollar amount, your daily budget on the campaign level. So campaign 1 has a daily budget. Once it's done, your ad stops showing. And campaign 2 has a daily budget. Once the budget is depleted, your ad stops showing for the rest of the day. So how does it make sense to have one budget for your entire account, for your tents and then for your chairs? Okay, that makes no sense whatsoever, because if by noon your budget is depleted because people are clicking on your $2 chair ads, what about your $1,000 tent packages that nobody's going to see for the rest of the day? So you want to set a different budget for each campaign, depending on how profitable it is. So for example, if you have a $100 per day budget, you want to give your tents maybe $50, your bounce houses maybe $30 a day, and your chairs and tables maybe $10 a day. Just an example. And remember, realize that we're not spending any more money. We're just distributing it differently because that makes us more money. There's just a smart way to do this and a not so smart way to do it, depending on your ROI. That said, there's no definitive right or wrong way to set it up. It's just that you just want to teach Google kind of where you want more return on investment and what matters to you. So how do you decide how to break it down? A good way to start is to look at your navigational structure on your website. And I'll show you guys an example here. I know how much we all love Kazam. Well, let's go ahead and use them. It's not going to go to the next slide. Whoops. Come on. Oh, there we go. All right. So let's use Kazam for an example. So this is Kazam's products, their navigational structure. We have the products, performance packages. Technically, each one of these can be a campaign. Okay. Well, let's go ahead and look at their products. So if I was just looking at their products, I would just an example. I would maybe create one campaign for inflatables and one campaign for tents. And then under inflatables, I would have a ad group for bounce houses and an ad group for water slides. And under tents, I would maybe have an ad group for event tents and an ad group for wedding tents. And big mistake number 2 is trying to advertise all of your stuff. You don't want to do that. You don't want to do that to begin with. Just start with a few core products and advertise those. So let's see what the account structure would look like if we set it up that way. So this is just a generic ad structure for Kazam. You would have a campaign for inflatables and then a campaign for tents. Under inflatables, you would have a ad group for bounce houses and then another ad group for water slides. Under bounce houses, you would have specific keywords. Bounce house rental near me, where to find a great bounce house, etc. When somebody searches, your ads will show, and if they click, they'll be taken to one of those pages. So that's why the more specific you are, the better. For tents, we break it down into event tents and wedding tents. This one, the best tent rentals around. This one would say wedding tent packages available, and it would show those ads. But once the budget is depleted for tents, ads will stop showing for both of these. If bounce houses eats up your daily budget, people will stop seeing your ads for water slides, and that's okay if they're at the same kind of ROI for you. But if water slides is taking up a bigger budget and it's bringing you more money, bringing you more business, then maybe we need to put it in its own campaign. The more specific you are, the higher quality the clicks that you get, and the better your ads convert. When building out your campaigns and ad groups, it comes down to choosing your weapon. You want to hunt for high quality clicks with a grenade, or do you want to hunt for high quality clicks with a sniper? If you hunt with a grenade, it's easier, but you're going to get a lot of low quality clicks, and that's what a lot of marketers will do for you because it's faster. High quality click hunting takes more time, but costs less money and produces higher quality leads. Makes you more money. The more campaigns and ad groups you have, the better results you get because your ads will be laser focused on your target client. Eventually, that will mean more ad spend, but who cares how much you're spending on ads if it's making you money? The more time you spend learning and working with the stuff, the higher quality the clicks become. My goal is to make that very doable for you business owners like us because we have very limited time. So stick with me and I'll show you how to do that. I'll show you how that's possible. So now let's go ahead and create a new campaign. From our Google Ads, we're going to click Campaigns. We're going to click the plus sign and then New Campaign. Now again, your screen may look a little different, but again, Google is giving you these options, telling you got to pick one. but we are experts. We're going to create a campaign without a goals guidance. It's going to give us all the features that we want, and then we're going to click search, and then we're going to go to website visits, and you're going to put your website in here. Just copy and paste it, website.com. And I'm going to copy this here because we'll use it more in a bit. So you put your website in there and hit continue. All right, from there, this is your campaign settings page. There are a ton of settings here. Very easy to get confused, but we'll go through them one by one here. So we are setting up an inflatables campaign, the one that we were just talking about. So inflatables is the campaign name, and then the network, we're going to only want to display on a search network because that's where people are searching for your stuff right now. And again, Google's going to tell you, don't miss this opportunity. Fake news. So we are going to, next to locations, you're being asked, where do you want it to show your ads? Now, since we're local, we're going to be going to this advanced section here, and we're going to tell Google that we only want to show our ads in a certain location. We're going to go to radius, and usually it'll, if you have Google My Business, it'll pop up right here. If not, then why don't you have Google My Business? Definitely want to set that up. You've got to get on Google Maps in our business. So if not, you could put in your address here and then put how many miles. So for me, I do a 30-mile radius from my business, and I click save. All right. Now, location options is pretty important. By default, Google is going to show your ads to people who live in your location, within 30 miles, for example, for me, or who show interest in your targeted location. So if somebody is, they live I'm in Chicago, somebody lives in Texas, and they're traveling to Chicago, Google knows they're traveling, so it's going to show them bounce house ads for Chicago. I mean, that might work for a travel agency or for car rentals, but for us, we only want to target people who are regularly in our targeted locations. And then we also have an option to exclude people moving forward, and we only want to exclude people that in our excluded locations. So you definitely want to check those two. Next is languages. If you advertise to another language, this is where you'd select that. Audience, you do not want to touch this. And then your daily budget. Your daily budget, I recommend starting at $10. Generally, that's what I start at, and I go from there, see how it does. Bidding, this is where Google makes it seem that you only have these options right here. But again, we are experts, so we're going to go selecting a bid strategy directly, and surprise, surprise, it's not recommended because it makes you money, not Google. So we're going to switch down to manual cost per click. We're going to drive stick. And again, Google is persistent. It's going to check this box for you. This basically gives Google a little more leeway. You give Google a little more control to spend more of your money. We're going to say, no, I want to go full manual. Moving forward, once you have a little bit of data, this is not actually a totally bad idea depending on how good your account's performing, but we don't want to have this checked right now. Finally, ad extensions. Ad extensions, basically what they do is give you more real estate on the Google search page, and it's free. Most people do not take advantage of this because they don't know what the heck these are. They look confusing. I get it, but we're experts, so we're going to go ahead and set this up for you guys right now. This is really, really important. Again, on the search page, it's just giving you a bigger ad, and it's free. Now, there are a lot of different extensions that we'll go through right now. You want to set them all up, and just because you set it all, it doesn't necessarily mean that Google's going to show them, but Google decides kind of based on who it's showing the ads to, whether to show them or not, and how many of them, but you definitely want to set them up, or else you don't stand a chance. So, site link extensions. Site link extensions are basically links to certain pages on your website. Okay? So, let me show you what they look like here. So contact us, current specials. This is what your ad would look like. This is your baby ad. This is everybody's ad looks like this. Headline, URL, description. But now your ad would have these little links here. These probably look familiar. So if I'm looking at two different people's ads and your ad says current specials, oh wow, yeah, I'd like to hear about specials. I'll click right on that versus somebody who doesn't have this. Okay? And it's giving you more room. So let's see how you set that up. You go to new site link extension. You would put your site link text. So this would be daily deals, for example. You could have contact us page, daily deals, anything that you think somebody would, going on your website would definitely want to go to right away. So for me, it may be frequently asked questions, delivery area, daily deals, anything like that where people are asking this stuff. Description, get the best deals on inflatable. Remember, this is an inflatable campaign. So we're only talking about that. and we're going to put a campaign for bounce houses and water slides. So get the best deals on bounce houses and, oh yeah, this. All right. So you run out of room quick here on inflatables, bounce house, and water slide rentals. Okay, and then final URL, we would take them not to mywebsite.com, we take them directly to the daily deals page, for example. Okay, and then you would go ahead and save, and now this is what it would look like. We see daily deals. Next is callout extensions. This one's an easy one. This is basically where you just add things you want to tell people that make your business unique. So this is what your callout extension would look like. 24/7 help support, 30-day money-back guarantee, etc. So in our industry, we would do things like on-time delivery, sanitized inflatables, let's see here, 5-star company, veteran run or family run veteran discounts, anything that makes your business unique. And again, think about this. You have two ads that are exactly the same. One of them says on-time delivery, sanitized inflatables. The other ad, the other company probably does all this stuff too, but because they don't know what you know, they're not going to put this in here. And the user on the other side is going to assume that only you have this stuff. Why is it that they're not advertising this stuff? This guy must have this stuff and the other company doesn't. So you definitely want to set those up. Next is call extensions. Call extensions is a pretty simple one. That's just where you put your phone number so that it shows so that people can just call it with a click. And this is what a call extension would look like. This is a very, very important one. Right off the phone, they could just one click and call you. And this does count as a click. Even if they call, even if they don't, if you don't answer the phone, if they end the call, doesn't matter how long you talk to them, it will count as a click. But it's very important because we know how important it is to get people on the phone. Once we get them on the phone, we can sell them and upsell them. Very importantly, though, for a call extension, you want to set a schedule. For all of these, really, you could set a schedule, but it doesn't really make sense except for call extension. You only want it to show your phone number on days when, or on times when you answer. So let's say we do Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. We want to tell Google to only show that that phone number during those times. Otherwise, it's going to show at 8 p.m. somebody's taking a look at our ads or searching for something that you have, and it's going to show them the phone. They're going to call. You're not going to answer. You just lost a click for nothing. So we'll save that. And then you also have, there's a, we'll go with structured snippet extension here. Structured snippet extension is basically a list of services that you offer, and this is what they would kind of look like. Okay, so let's see what we'd set them up. They look a lot like the callout extension. Basically, the only difference is you set what it is. Do you have models? Do you have neighborhoods? Do you service catalog? For us, it would be service catalog. That's what I would choose. And I would say this is, again, for our inflatables only. So I would say bounce houses, water slides, unicorn, bounce house. And you could set these for your whole account or specifically for this campaign. The more specific you are, the better. And then preview what that looks like. So there you go. You see service catalog, water slide, bounce houses. And again, oh, this company has all this stuff. They'll gives them definitely more to see from what you offer. Save that. Lastly, add extensions here. Next we have app extensions are to download an app if you have an app. Message extension is a very cool one. Here, let me show you what that one looks like. You could have this with your ad. So this is your regular ad. Send us a text to get $10 off. Who wouldn't want to click this, right? So to set that up, you go to new message extension. Let's see here, your business name, bounce my house, party rentals, bounce my house. Just leave it there. It defaults to send us a text for more information. I would say send us a text to get $10 off, for example. And then once they text you, what it's going to say is I'd like to know more. But so you know what they're texting about, I would say something like send me the $10 off coupon. Okay, so that's the message you'll get, and then the message that would be replied to them is, thanks for contacting us, we'll get back to you shortly. Now, where do these messages go? You could tell it you want it to go to an email or a phone number right here. So we could put it to my email, depending how you have your stuff set up, where you want your leads to go to. And same thing with this one, you want to set a schedule where you don't want it to, you don't want them to be texting you in the middle of the night and you not replying to them, and they just kind of get frustrated and go elsewhere. So we'll save that, and then there you go. Send us a text to get $10 off. It's a very cool one. Next we have promotion extensions. This is where you can add promotions. This is what they look like. Look how cool that looks. Okay. Now, a lot of people don't believe in offering discounts, etc. It doesn't matter what you believe for your own business. When it comes to marketing, you have to have an offer. Okay. People are looking for a deal. So when they're looking for companies, and yours just so happens to have an offer, they're definitely going to click on yours. Doesn't matter who they buy from, but you definitely have to have an offer when it's paid advertisement. You have to have some kind of offer to get your money's worth. So you could do monetary, you could do percentage, let's say 10% off, bounce house, rentals. Your final URL is bounce house, whatever. Okay, and this is what it would look like. 10% off bounce house rentals. And you could put a schedule for this one if it's like a limited time deal or whatever. You could do that. All right, doesn't matter. Skip over that one. The URL that I just pasted wasn't real, so you want to put your actual URL. Two more we'll go through. Price extension. This is where you could put your pricing. And I know a lot of you guys don't like to put your prices out there because you kind of want to work people in it. But think about this. People are looking at your ad, and a lot of people want to spend less. If you're higher priced than some of your competitors, at least this way they'll see your price right off the bat, and they won't click your ad and then waste your click. So bounce house, $300 bounce house, and vice versa. If you got a cheap prices, then show them that. $300 per day, bounce house. Just put your description and then your URL, and this is what it would look like. $300 per day bounce house. Whoa, that's too much. I'm not clicking on that guy's ad. I'm going somewhere else. But at least they didn't waste your ad spend. Or they're somebody maybe specifically looking for a higher end company. They know, oh, these guys are charging more. They must be a higher end company. And again, Google will not always show this stuff. It decides when to show. We really don't know their algorithm. You have to put at least 3 of these for it to show. So I'm going to click cancel. The last one I will show you is location extension. This will show your address to people in the ad for them to come in and talk to you in your office or come in and pick up equipment. If you don't do that, then I would not set that up. But you already have an address like on your in your account, so it offers you to use that. But if you want to put a specific location, then you could put that location, and it'll go ahead and show that to users who view your ad. All right, so then you hit save and continue. And now it's time to set up your ad group and select your keywords. So for our ad group, this ad group is going to be bounce houses, and then your default bid per click, we're going to set it as $1. Just a good place to start. And then now you're asked to select your keywords. So what keywords do we pick? How many keywords? And where do you go from there? Keywords are the heart of Google Ads, and it's really important to understand about keywords here. So let me pull up this slide. Okay, so how many keywords? Most of your research is going to tell you that there are you need anywhere from 10 to 20 keywords for an account. Let me tell you why that's wrong. For your account to be most effective, the keywords that are found here need to appear in your ads in the header, in the URL, in the description, and then you're going to take them to a page that shows those keywords as well. How can you possibly do that when you have 10 to 20 different keywords? Okay, if you have bounce house rental, unicorn bounce house, and water slide rental, all in your keywords, how are you going to put all that in the header and then put all that in the URL and then put all that in the description? You can. It'll just be very generic, and you could take them to your general inflatables page. It's just very generic. Google will recognize that you're hunting with a grenade, and Google will give you a low quality ad score, therefore charge you more per click. In an ideal situation, someone searches for a keyword. They see an ad with the keyword in the header, in the URL, in a description. They say, wow, this is exactly what I'm looking for. And then they're taken to an ad that talks just about that one keyword. And then they buy from you. Your goal is to get every single person who views your ads as far down that process as possible, as close to clicking your ad and buying from you as possible. And in order for that to happen, you have to have very specific ads with very specific keywords. Therefore, I don't recommend any more than 5 keywords per ad group for now, especially to start. I'll even just start with 1 usually and kind of see how it performs, and that's when you go in every day and add in keywords as they come in. You know, you're going to come in and add keywords that people are actually searching for your stuff, and then remove keywords where people are not. And that's where keyword match types come in. Keyword match types are something that most people don't understand, and we're going to talk about that here. Oops. Keyword match types. So how specific, keyword match types basically tell Google how specific do you want Google to send you these searches, okay? So if you say bounce house rental is your keyword, do you want Google to send you searches for people that are searching for bounce house rental near me, or no? Do you want Google to send you for unicorn bounce house rental or just bounce house rental? How that is determined is by the match type. There are 5 match types. Broad match is where basically you tell Google anything that comes close to anything to do with bounce house rental, any one of these words, I want you to show my ads. Gives you a lot of irrelevant stuff. Believe it or not, only one of these words has to be present in the search. So your search will return results for bounce houses. It'll also return results for car rentals because rental is in there. And then Google has something called close variations or close variants. So basically, Google does not necessarily stick to only the word rental. It'll show for the plurals, synonyms, and related searches. So if your keyword is rental, you'll still qualify for rentals, and that's fine. That's good. Bounce, Google knows jumpy is a synonym of bounce, so it will do that. But if you just put in a keyword like this, that's very problematic. It's the easiest way to spend a lot of money because it's going to show your ad to car rentals because the word rental is in there, home appliances because home and house have the same meaning, and how to patch a bounce house will also show your ad. So what you want to do is use a modifier. Broad match modifier or modified broad match is where you tell Google that, okay, I want you to only show my ads to people who search using all of these words. You can put words in the middle, you can put words at the end, on either side, you could use synonyms, but these words at least have to be somewhere in the search. And that's modified broad. In order to do that, you want to put a plus sign before each word in your keyword. So if we put plus bounce, plus house, plus rentals, our keywords would now trigger ads for bounce house rental, even though the word rental is what we put in there, and that's plural. Cheap jumpy house rentals near me. Notice how it added the word cheap before and the word near me after, and it replaced the words bounce with jumpy. Google knows that this is the same meaning, and that's good. And then rent a bouncy house will also trigger your ad, even though you use the word bounce. It replaced it with bouncy, and you use rentals, it replaced it with rent, and then it also put the word a in the middle there. So what if you tell Google, listen, I don't want you to put any words in the middle. I want you to only show my ads to people who are search bounce house rentals in that exact order. You can add words at the end or in the beginning, but bounce house rentals, I want it exactly in that same order. That's where phrase match comes in. So you put the quotation marks, and then from there, Google will only show your ads to people who search bounce house rental in that order. It could say bounce house rentals, plural, jumpy house rental near me, cheap bouncy house rentals. It'll add words before or after, and that's phrase match if you put the quotation marks around it. A lot of people don't understand this stuff, guys. If you get this, you are way ahead of the game. You're ahead of 50% of people that market on Google. This is really, really, really important stuff. This is how you sculpt your account. Lastly, there's exact match, and that's where you tell Google that I only want you to show my ads to people who search bounce house rental exactly. I don't want any words before, I don't want any words after, I don't want any words in the middle, just bounce house rental. Well, you can do that, but it doesn't really work. Google will still show your ad to people who if it thinks that your ad is if people are searching for something that you have. If it thinks the ad is related, it'll still show it. That pisses a lot of people off that this doesn't really work, even though you tell Google only show my ads to these people. Google's algorithm will still say, hey, but this person is looking for a bounce house rental, so I'm going to show your ad to them. And that's fine. I still do use this sometimes. But it will, and it will still use close variants, so bounce can be replaced with jumpy, etc. Last one is negative keyword. This is by far probably the most important one. This is how you exclude people from seeing your ads, people that are not looking for what you have. So you can add one word, you can add multiple words. So free, somebody that's looking for a free bounce house rental, you want to add a minus sign, and that's how you tell Google that anybody that, I don't care what they're searching for, bounce house rental near me, if the word free shows up anywhere in their search, I do not want you to show my ads to them. Okay, so I would add free, cheap, and take a look at the negative keyword lists that we have. Those are you can add a whole list of keywords that you don't want people to trigger your ads. So free, cheap, photos are good ones, but just be careful. If you have a phrase like cheap bounce houses, then you want to put it in quotation marks. Otherwise, it considers it negative broad, basically meaning that if the word cheap or the word bounce or the word houses is anywhere in the search, do not show my ads to that. And you don't want that. So if you are going to put a phrase like cheap bounce houses, then you want to put a negative sign and the quotation to tell Google that don't show my ad to somebody to search cheap bounce houses altogether, not just the word cheap or the word bounce or the word houses. So let's go back to our ad group and select our keywords. So when it comes to selecting your actual keywords, there's a lot of systems and resources out there, some paid, some free, that you can use to help you get keyword ideas. This one here is actually a good one to start with. If you just type a product like bounce houses, it will usually tell you how many searches there are, but because our location doesn't have some data, it won't. But usually it will tell you kind of what people are searching, and it kind of gives you some ideas. For now, I just want to add one keyword and kind of see what kind of results that brings me. And remember, we're going to add plus sign bounce, plus sign house, plus sign rental. And I'm telling Google that as long as these three words are somewhere in the search, I want you to show my ad. And I'm also going to add a negative for free. Don't show my ads to anybody that's looking for something for free, anybody that's looking for something cheap, or anybody that's looking for a photo. And then we're going to hit save and continue. So after we've set up our campaign and our ad groups, it's time to create our ads. So in the ad creation here, you have your final URL. You're asked to put in a display URL, you're asked to put in some headlines, and you're asked to put in a description. Now your screen may look a little different than this. Remember, Google has a couple different versions running at the same time, so that's okay, it's all the same. So let's take a look at what all that stuff is. Go here. So basically we said we have a header, a URL, and a description. This is your basic ad anatomy, basic examples. Okay. Now you don't want your ad to look like this. You want your ad to look like one of these. So looking at these, which one of these would you want your ad to look like? All right, this top one, right? It's taking up about a third of the page. It's got 1, 2, 3 headers. The headers or headlines. I'm sorry. The headlines are separated by this line here. So we got I'm sorry, this line. That's an L. So 1, 2, 3 headlines. It's got a display URL, and a display URL tells me that once I click on this, I'm going to go straight to the car rental page. And this is not a real URL. This is just for display purposes only. And I'll show you guys that in a bit. There's a nice description here. There's a deal extension, promotion extension, and then there's 2 site link extensions. Now, this ad is okay too. This one has they got a call out extension here, and then this ad only has a phone number extension or a call extension. And again, maybe all 3 of these ads set up all their site links, but Google is only showing for this one. Again, that depends on a lot of stuff, but and that's something you have no control over. But your goal is to get your ad set up like this. So maybe this company just did not set up their site links, their extensions. So that's our goal for our ad to look something like this. In order to do that, let's take a look at some best practices for ad copy. You want to capitalize the first letter of each word. Don't ask me why, that's what Google likes. You get a better score when you do that. You want to have an attention-grabbing headline. You want to have the most important message in the headline. Your headline cannot be boring. Your most important message has to be in the headline. You want a high volume of keyword and proper punctuation in the headline and the description. Very intriguing description. And then you have to have keywords in the description as well. Your keywords that you set up for the ad group, they have to be all over the description, all over the headline, in a way that makes sense, obviously. You have to have a clear call to action. I cannot emphasize this enough. Too many of us don't do this. This works. I'll show you guys what a call to action is in a bit. And then you have to have your top keywords in the display path URL. I'll show you that in a bit. Top reasons for ad disapproval. These are the things you don't want to do. You don't want to have typos or all caps. You don't want to have promoting anything that's against Google's policies like gambling or alcohol. You don't want to have any extra spaces, any explanation points in the headline. You can have explanation points in the description, but not in the headline. In the description, you only want one explanation point. You don't want more than one. You don't want to have any extra punctuations like by now or ready to start with 3 question marks. No unnecessary symbols. No gimmicky symbols, so you don't want to use plus instead of and. No gimmicky capitalization. Don't do something like this or spelling. You don't want any emojis, and you don't want to add click here in your ad, and then you don't want to put a phone number in your ad. You want to use a call extension. Notice Google wants you to do this stuff so that you represent them professionally because you're representing their brand. So let's go ahead and set up an ad using these do's and don'ts. So my final URL looks like this. So this is an example. If you look up here, this is an example of a final URL. Okay, check this out. That is ugly. You don't want your customers to see this. Okay, so what you want them to see, instead of mywebsite.com/all this crap, you want to tell them that they're going to go to a this doesn't tell me where you're taking me. Okay, this tells me that this is what you do. So you put bounce house deals. So now I know, if you look here, it should update right away. I know that I'm going to the page that talks about bounce house deals. Okay? Next is headline. Now in this version, you actually get to pick which headline is first. So I'll show you guys. Remember, the most important thing you want to put up front. So your deals, $20 off bounce house rentals. Okay? 5-star rated company. I want to put the most important. What do you want people to know about your company? About what do you want to market? Okay. What are people having issues with? Let's see here. Sanitized equipment. Or we know a lot of people deliver late, so we want to let these guys know that we deliver on time. Early delivery. Yeah, there you go. And you could put more. So if you have this version of Google Ads, you can add a lot more, and Google will kind of play around and it'll switch them out and see which ones perform better. Here, if you want, look, notice how it's switching them around. But if you absolutely want $20 off bounce house rentals to always be the first headline, then you just put this here and you put show this headline only in position 1. Okay, should update. So now it'll switch these two around sometimes, but this one will always be position 1. So making your headlines unique, we got points. Add more headlines. Just you can add more, and the more you have, the better. And here you want to follow what Google likes. Add a lot of headlines, and Google will kind of test them out. The first one is very important to me. 5-star rated and early delivery, maybe on-time delivery, family-run company. And Google will kind of test out a lot of different versions of these and see which one people click more. Your description, you want to have an intriguing description with your keywords, okay? And you want to have, and then with these, you also want to put your keyword in as many of them as possible, okay? Family-run bounce houses, bounce house company, or something like that. Okay, you want to be careful not to. So family bounce house company, because you want your keywords in these, right? On time, bouncer, delivery, bounce house. All right, the description, same thing. We want to have, remember, intriguing. You want to have the keywords in there, and you want to have a call to action. What is a call to action? A call to action is telling someone to do something. So book now. This works. You have to have a call to action, okay? You have 90 characters. I always end up running out, so I like to put my call to action because that's the most important thing. I like to put that first and then go back and write out the rest. Okay, the best deal, remember I'm capitalizing the first letter of each word. The best deals on bounce house rentals in Chicago. Clean equipment delivered fast. Try bouncers. What? All right, so you get the picture though. You want to stick to those 90 characters. Same thing here. So what I'll do is I'll maybe, for this one, I'll do call now. Okay, in each description you just want one explanation point here. Deals through the end of the month, free carnival game with, or let's see here, bounce house slide combos available. Call now. And you want to add more to get that as well. And then that is it. This is what your ad looks like without the extensions. And you want to definitely add more headlines and mess around with your description. You know, add more. It's telling us that this is poor. This is just obviously generic. But once you're done with that, you're going to go ahead and click Save and Continue. And then continue to campaign. So we've created a campaign, an ad group, keywords, and ads. So now you go back in and you do the same for your other products that you want to market. And then the last step here is just to go ahead and put in your payment information in the settings so that your ads can begin to run. And Google will charge you either when you hit like $350 or once a month. And now you have a rock solid account that is set up for success. So what now? I mean, like anything else, it's all meaningless if you don't maintain it. First thing you want to do is set up conversion tracking. That could be a little complicated and it could be a little time consuming. I have some videos I could share with you guys on how to do that. But basically, conversion tracking is the #1 thing you want to track on your Google Ads account. That will tell you whether or not your ad account is actually bringing you money or just clicks that are not converting into money. You got to monitor your results, like I said, and it's meaningless if you don't. So most importantly, to learn how to optimize and monitor your account is what you're going to do next. You got to keep learning. You guys can do this. If I could do it, anybody can do it. But where do you learn from? That's kind of the issue. There are a ton of websites and videos out there that you can learn from, but these courses were not designed with business owners in mind, like you and me. Also, there's not a single course out there that pertains to the event rental industry, and that means that you're going to have to spend a lot of money teaching Google which clicks pertain to the event rental industry and which ones don't before your account really starts to perform. That's the reason I actually launched my own ad academy specifically for our industry that has video courses that are really good that can really get you to scale. And I share my success with operators just like you. And you guys are not going to believe what I charge for these courses. It's a great deal. I have a really special offer for you guys here today, and I'll go through that in a bit. But the main point is, whether you learn from me or from someone else, you have to learn this stuff and apply it daily first and then weekly. Otherwise, don't even bother wasting your money on Google Ads, to be honest. I'm not going to lie, it's not always fun to learn this stuff, and there's a lot to learn. I mean, you guys could be honest. How many of you guys purchased courses that you just never watched or never went through, and you paid money for this stuff? It's a lot. It can get overwhelming because it's just not made for people that have busy lives. I took a lot of these courses, and honestly, there's a disconnect. They're linear, so they expect you to sit there for like 6 months and take notes before you can see the full picture and start to implement this stuff. I mean, I've done it. Matter of fact, I've been studying this stuff, like I said, for a long time. And you can go out there and do what I did. And there's free courses, paid courses, short ones, long ones. But in the end, you're either wasting time or money. That's time and money you could have spent with your family or with your building your business. And it's just even more money that you're going to be spending to get Google to learn what you want and what you don't want. But if you want double the results in half the time, you got to learn from somebody from the industry. I've compiled all my notes from all these years into my ad academy, and I'm very excited about this, guys. It's the only website out there that offers digital marketing courses specifically for the event rental industry. There's so many more strategies that I'm going to share with you guys that allow you to scale big time. And again, there's a lot of places where you can learn this stuff, but there's something unique about the way I teach as well, because I teach you everything you need to start implementing and making money today, now, and then I add small doses of the advanced stuff, so you're never left scratching your head. All these years I failed at digital marketing. It's not my fault, and it's not your fault either. It's the way we're taught, and the system was not built to be easy. Not until now. When I finally got my ads right, I went from being a little fish to becoming one of the biggest players in my city. And we've only been around 4 years, by the way. I had a whole new set of problems when I had my ads set up. I had my business kept me busy. I could not attend the chamber meetings anymore. My inbox was always flooded with leads all hours of the day. I actually had to move out of my home office and into a storefront. For the first time ever, I had to hire a sales team to keep up with all the leads that were coming in. I was outperforming competitors that have been around decades longer than me, and it was insane. The year that I owned my ads is the year that I was finally able to quit my day job and run my business full time. I still teach, but I don't work at the hospital anymore, and I teach because it's something that I love to do. It's something that I enjoy. Something else happened that was pretty cool. See, I understood that once I cracked the ads code, I would get more leads and more traffic and phone calls. That's fine. What I didn't understand is the quality of leads would be better too. I'm now making bigger sales, and my client base is shifting from residential, backyard stuff to corporate parties and festivals. My party rental company used to just service families. Now my client list includes United States Postal Service, Major League Baseball teams, real estate giants, many more. It's crazy. I couldn't be happier with the transformation, and I could help you guys do the same. I take a lot of pride in teaching, and that's why I put together my ad academy for the event rental companies like yours. It's something I'm very, very proud of. So let me talk to you guys about what it is and what I'm offering here. What I'm offering is I have the unlimited access to my Google Ads Masterclass. That's at least $1,000 value, guys. And this is a masterclass, meaning from A to Z, you're going to know everything that needs to be known about Google. I'm also going to be starting on landing pages, landing page optimization. Guys, I was baffled when I learned what a landing page is. All this time I thought a landing page and website was the same thing. You guys are probably wondering, oh, there's a difference between landing page and website. Huge difference, huge difference. A bad landing page or sending people to your website from Google is the #1 way to waste ad spend. All that money you're putting into Google, you could have a perfectly set up account like we set it up today. You can maintain it all the time, set it up perfectly, but if you're sending people to a landing page that's not optimized, it will not convert. There's science behind this stuff, guys, and if you're not using it, then it's a waste. And I didn't know this for a long time. And then finally, Facebook. Facebook is something that I'm focusing on next. I'm going to show you guys some of the Facebook results that I'm getting. I didn't really, for a while, I was not using Facebook ads. I just didn't believe that they worked, but there is a way to do them, and I finally cracked that code. I'm going to show you guys some of the leads that I've been getting from that. I'm also, so for my ad academy, I have visually appealing, easy to use site. These are not rinky-dink YouTube videos that you just watch. I'll show you guys that in a sec here. My unique teaching style. You're going to have to, each lesson is an action lesson where you can implement what you learn immediately to start getting results. There's downloadable cheat sheets to help you get it down quick. And then there's progress tracking to show you kind of how far you are in the course. These are long courses too, guys. They're broken down pretty nicely though. Hang tight, I'll show you. And then tons of insider tips onto how to get more out of Google Ads. I'm also going to be putting together a private Facebook group with online access to me and other people in your industry that are marketing this stuff. We're going to be doing weekly live Q&As to kind of get specific to your website. I want to see your website and see kind of what you're doing. I want to see your Google ads and your Facebook ads and try to help you one-on-one. I'm going to give you guys my review obtaining strategy that got us more 5-star reviews than our biggest competitors. And you guys might be thinking that is not a $99 a month value. I don't know if you guys were, there's a company that reached out to me that they do this. I forgot what they're called, but they have an app or some kind of system that only shows your 5-star reviews and hides all the reviews of those customers that were just kind of trying to rip on you. And they wanted $100 a month, and I said that's way too much. So I actually went out and I created my own, and it took me a while to figure out, but you guys could set up your own in like 10 minutes. It's pretty cool. It basically shows your 5-star reviews, and anytime somebody leaves you a 1-star review, there's a way to get that not to show. And then finally, for the first 10 students that sign up, I'm offering a 30-minute consultation with me where we can go ahead and do a screen share and one-on-one over the phone, take a look at your ads and see kind of where you are and where you're going. All of this, guys, easily over $2,000. I've spent way more than that over the years on this stuff, and you guys can go out and do it yourself. Trust me, you'll spend way more to learn all this stuff. But you know and I know I'm not charging you $2,000 for this. I'm not even charging $1,000, not even $500. But I want to ask you a question. If it was $500, just think about this. If all this did was help you finally understand how to effectively market your business on the world's largest advertising platforms like those big corporations and those really, really big companies, would it be worth $500? Yeah, it definitely would. Definitely would. And if all this did was finally get you to that point, get you past that hump of just doing backyard parties and to those bigger corporate events and those bigger festivals, and like it did for me, and get you all these big sales like it's doing for me, would it be worth $500? Easily, right? My average sale is now $500. It would totally be worth $500. But don't worry, I'm not charging $500 For everybody in this group, this is what I want to do, and I'll tell you why. $13 a month. Yes, I know I could have charged more, but I'm going to be putting this together week by week, which allows me to start working alongside you right away. There's already a lot of content on the site right now, a lot of videos, and I'm going to be releasing more and more every week right alongside you. You guys are going to be my beta group. This is a crazy deal. It's a win for you. It's a win for me. This program will never be at this price again. So right now you have a chance to change your business at a crazy discount. When it's done, I'm going to be charging at least 4 times that. Another reason I have it priced this low is because right now it's the end of the season, and I know you guys, the income starts to come, profits start to come in down. So I've had to fire my marketers usually at the end of the season because there's not much going on. But this is actually the best time to do this because remember, Google Ads is an auction. So right now, prices for clicks are going down because your competitors are dropping off because they're thinking, oh, there's no money to be made right now. But I'm in Chicago, and we're definitely seasonal. But right now, I'm going to be marketing my tables and chairs, anything we could do indoor, my photo booths. So anything that makes you money in the off season, people are looking for this stuff. Why stop your ads? Who cares if, as long as it's bringing you money, dude, run that stuff. So I'm actually going to be rebuilding a lot of my ads and a lot of my landing pages, and you guys get to look over my shoulder as I do that. So let me show you guys. For those of you guys that are signing up, also we have I'm giving everybody a 30-day money-back guarantee so that you don't have to worry. So that in 30 days, if I don't follow through, you guys have everything you need. But let me show you guys. This is my ad academy. Just if you go to myadacademy.com, this is my website. Very proud of this. If you go to view courses, and you guys should get a link to go straight to this, but if you don't, this is the Event Rental Masterclass on Google. And here you just click Take This Course. And then you can just check out with PayPal or use a credit card. But let me go ahead and log in and show you guys what it looks like. So this is my login. All right, so this is the Event Rental Google Ads Masterclass. So remember what I said, I have crash course, action lessons, and then advanced knowledge lessons. So you guys can just go right into the action lessons. You don't have to go do all that boring stuff until you're ready. But let me just show you guys what it looks like here. So if we go to assessing your account, these are not one video each, so this one has 4 in it. You click on, for example, negative keyword lists. There's a video that pops up. And then you have materials here. And this list alone will save you hundreds, man. These are all the negative keywords that you want to put in so that you're getting only relevant traffic. And then here it's showing you that you're in this lesson. These are the topics. You can skip around. It's got progress tracking to show you how far you are of 69 different videos. Let me show you guys another one here. Google Ads metrics. So this video talks about all of the basic Google Ads metrics so that you can understand everything that we're talking about, all the definitions and everything. And then check this out. I have really clean PDFs here that tell you all these definitions of everything you need to know on Google Ads. You can print this out. I definitely recommend you print this out so that you know the basic terms and metrics. And like I said, there's the progress tracking. And I want to show you guys one more thing. This is my Facebook. This is just Tuesday alone. Check this out. These are my Facebook ads. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 leads in one day for $15 a day. These are leads. These aren't just people who click my ad and I don't know what they did. No, these are people I can message them directly right now and tell them all about my services and tell them more about my stuff. So that's pretty cool. I'm really, really excited, guys. This is honestly this is what I do. It's a masterclass academy, and what that means is by the end of this, you have mastered enough skill to not only rock your own account, but you can even help others as well. You can even have somebody else within your company do this. It doesn't have to be you. I definitely recommend that you be the one to take control of your own ads. But you could have somebody else do it if you got a lot going on right now. But all of this basically for the same price of 2 cups of coffee. You're going to be learning from somebody who has experience in your industry. You can learn You can go learn this stuff from Google or from anybody else. But trust me, it's going to cost you a lot more than $13 a month. I'm so confident, again, that this works that I'm giving you guys 30 days. I mean, it's a no-brainer. There's really no excuse not to do this. Take the courses for 30 days, and if you just think that this is not working or didn't make you money, if it doesn't make you $13 or more, it's going to make you a couple $100 in 30 days. If it does not do that, then just cancel it. No problem. It's definitely the best $13 investment you'll make, though. I mean, I'm going to be honest with you guys. Some of you guys have seen my posts in the groups. I'm not exactly as handy as a lot of people. Some people laugh at my questions that I ask. I'm at a point where I enjoy teaching this stuff a lot more than running my rental company. So this is what I want to focus on. So my focus is not to grow my ad academy. My focus is to help you make money and get your ads running so that you can go out and tell everybody else in the group about how good my ad academy is, and that will bring me more clients. So that's my number one goal. Again, if you implement this stuff, if you just implement the stuff that we learned today, you're going to save a couple $100 and you're going to make a couple $100 just on your ads, and you'll have $13 left over, I promise, for continuing your education. It took me years to finally get this stuff because I'm running a business and working and raising a family, and that's other than spending on the courses. Needless to say, I had no choice because until now, there was not this kind of accelerated ad academy with business owners in mind, let alone tailored to our industry. So don't waste your time and money like I did. I don't have a choice, but you do. Honestly, knowing how much time and money I wasted, if I knew then what I know now, I would gladly pay $2,000 for all this stuff to get it right the first time. If you guys have any questions, shoot me a message. You guys know where to find me. I hope you guys enjoyed. Look forward to speaking to some of you guys soon. Enjoy the rest of your day and talk to you soon.